Hello, everybody. It's Caleb Crew with Caleb Crew Reports and Predicts. And today we're going to go over the election results from Canada last night in the 2019 Canadian federal election. And so, pretty much what happened was the Liberals outperformed what a lot of people thought their seat count was going to be. And they were able to win the most seats. It's a minority government, so they're going to have to. They're going to have to form not necessarily a coalition, but some type of working agreement, probably with the New Democrats and the Greens, or just the New Democrats in order to stay in power. So right now, there's one seat that is not been declared yet, but the Liberals are leading there, and I looked at that seat earlier, and they're probably going to win that seat. And so that would put the Liberals at 157 seats, the Conservatives at 121, Bloc Québécois at 32, the NDP at 24, the Greens at 3, and the Independent at 1. And so that was Mary Lou Rayboul's seat. She was fired by the Trudeau government over trying to investigate the SNC-Lavalin scandal. And so she was a Liberal, but now is an Independent. And so another big takeaway actually was that the Conservatives won the popular vote. They got almost a percentage more than the Liberals did, and over a percentage more of the popular vote. But a lot of their vote was where it was concentrated out in Western Canada. They were winning. It was just so concentrated, they were winning seats by huge margins, but it didn't really help with other seats, so they didn't have a good vote efficiency there. And then before we look at some of these particular ridings, the gains and losses. So the Liberals lost 29 seats, the Conservatives gained 23 seats, the Bloc Québécois gained 22 seats, and the NDP lost 18, and the Green Party gained a seat. They actually won in Atlantic Canada, which was actually a pretty big upset over there. And we'll go over some of these seats here in a second. But for the Liberals, Trudeau still will be in power. They'll be in a minority government. This is the first time in a long time in Canada that the Prime Minister goes to the next election and loses seats and has a minority government. I mean, and so and a lot of these mistakes are on Trudeau to blame for not being in a majority government. If he would have handled SNC-Lavalin better, he would have been fine. If he wouldn't have had the blackface, he would have been fine. Scandal. And so so that's pretty much what led us to this point. And so we can go through this by region. The Conservatives picked up 4 seats in Alberta. That was a good region for them. Then if you go to British Columbia, now this was a big battleground in British Columbia. Now the Conservatives actually did a little better than they did good in British Columbia, not where they needed to be, of course, but they did better than they had previously. They gained 8 seats, so they and went up to 17 seats. The Liberals lost 7 seats. NDP lost 2 seats, and the Greens kept their 2 seats that they had. And this is where also where Mary Lou Raybould won her seat as well. And then if you go to Manitoba, the Conservatives picked up 2 seats, the NDP picked up a seat, and the Liberals lost 3 seats here. So, and this is a trend you'll see in most places. Then in New Brunswick, the Liberals lost 4 seats, the Conservatives picked up 3 seats, and actually this is where the Greens picked up a seat. And I'll try to pull up that riding in a second. Newfoundland, the NDP gained a seat, and the Liberals lost a seat there. And in Northern Canada, the NDP gained a seat, and the Liberals lost a seat. In Nova Scotia, the Conservatives picked up a seat. They didn't have any there, and the Liberals lost a seat. in Ontario. This was the big battleground in Ontario, and the Conservatives gained seats here, but they needed to gain a lot more, and they just didn't. They didn't gain the amount of seats, the net gain that they needed. They only picked up 3 seats. And the Liberals lost a seat, and the NDP lost 2 seats. So this was a pretty good for the Liberals, and they overall won in Ontario and got a lot more seats, but they still net lost some seats. And then on Prince Edward Island, the Liberals kept all of those seats. And Quebec, and so Quebec is the big story of the night. The NDP utterly collapsed here. They only won 1 seat in Quebec, and they previously had 15 seats. The NDP picked up 22 seats, and the Conservatives lost 2 seats, and the Liberals lost 6. So Bloc Québécois really was on the move in Quebec. Now, this is also, and we'll try to pull up Maximin Bernier, who left the Conservative Party to form his own party. He lost in his riding to the Conservatives, and we'll try to pick, and we'll go to that one here in a second. And then in Saskatchewan, Conservatives won all the seats in Saskatchewan. Look at their vote share; it's at 64%. So I mean, this is why they weren't as efficient, even though they got, because they were in regions like this in Alberta, they were just so had so many seats, so many votes. But the NDP lost 3 seats, and the Liberals lost a seat as well. So so we're going to go over to and look at a couple of these. This is the seat in Vancouver for Jody Wilson-Raybould. She beat the Liberal by almost 3,000 votes, so that was really good for her. And if she would have won by more, obviously, if she was still the Liberal candidate. And then we're going to go down to Maximin Bernier's seat right now. So he was defeated by Richard Lehoux, which is a popular mayor in the area, and he got beat pretty bad by 6,000 votes, so 38% to 28%. So he beat him by almost 10 points. And Bernier, this is really bad. I mean, for him, he's had a pretty rough row to hoe, if you will, and overall, this was just a really bad result for him. And then we're going to go up here and take a look at this this green seat that they were able to win. And this is on the CBC website, and they give you a little history about this. And it was Jenica Atwin. She won by 791 votes, so it was close, and by about 1% she beat. Conservative was Andrea Johnson, but Matt DeCourcy was actually the incumbent. So the Liberal, this just shows you the Liberals had lost a lot of support since then. But this win is really big for the Greens. They only have 3 seats, but it's just really important for the Greens because they now have won on both coasts, and they have a little bit more credibility now. And so this was just a huge win there. And so that's just a little bit about the election and just some different stats from last night. And so it just overall the Liberals had an okay night. They weren't able to win a majority, but they were able to win. And you'd always rather be a minority prime minister than no prime minister at all. So that's good for them. The Conservatives picked up a lot of seats and won the popular vote, but were not able to come close enough to pick up the seats that they needed. This will give them a good springboard for the next election, and it could be a lot closer than we think. We just don't know how stable that this minority government is going to be, and if there is going to be a vote of no confidence. overall in Canada, this is a great night if you're a Quebecer because with Bloc Québécois doing so well, Quebec is now going to get a lot of attention now, and so for the Bloc, they probably had the best night. And the Greens had a pretty good night as well. I mean, to pick up a seed, and they of course have a long way to go, but for them, it's pretty good. And so um, that's all really all we have on this. If you guys could like and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. And thank you guys so much.